Manners and respect me down.
Just another ready on the
Hi, how are you doing? This is Don Santo, the one and only Nisa Central Africa, the whole world living in Google. I would like to comment about what happened during the Madaraka Day in Kisumu. A lot has been talked about. People have really come to appreciate the value of the people of Kisumu, as they say. And we saw Tanga team getting enough content to praise their leader, DP William Ruto, saying, you see, the welcome they got in Kondele, President Uhuru Kenyatta was also welcomed very well. In fact, even many people saying that he got even a bigger and warmer welcome in Kisumu than he could have gotten in Nyeri or Kiambu. And for Raila Odinga, he was just at home, And the people of Kisumu were happy because guests were coming to Kisumu, and this time not to tear gas them, but developments were being launched in Kisumu for the first time since independence. They were welcoming every guest the very way they were welcoming anyone before. Now, a lot has been said. We have heard things that are unimaginable about the Luo community. Our jamaa kungoa reli, wala sijui nini. But when in real sense, the people have never been given an opportunity to express themselves. And not just the people of Kisumu, even the Luya people, the Kamba people, the Mijikenda people, Kushites, the Somalis, the Asians, every citizen in this country, we have even the Nubians, they have never been given an opportunity to express themselves. But here was an opportunity where there was no politics. They were just guests who were coming to celebrate Madaraka Day. You've heard that, during the NASA rallies, those people who are burning cars in the name of rioting and stealing from people. But a few years later, they have been vindicated when former Governor Mike Sonko said him and Kibicho bought cars and went and burned them for them to blame it on the NASA supporters.
Watu hasa nation wote niwaambie kitu kimoja. Mimi nimefanya kazi na Deep State. Mimi nimefanya kazi na system ya Mheshimiwa Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Mimi nataka kutabana niseme hivi. 2017 wakati kulikuwa na maandamano ya ONM, mimi na Kibicho na Deep State wale wengine na system tulienda kuprint t-shirt za ONM. Tukanunua magari second hand kwa mashoro, tukazichoma huko Ngong Road. Ionekane ni ONM, kumbe ni Deep State na system.
Now you see where the violence comes from. The people have never been given an opportunity to express themselves. Every time even the activists want to talk about something, the state or those people that particular activism is certainly going to hurt, they usually counter that with buying or influencing the media to speak their truth and not the real truth. Now, Kisumu was given an opportunity to express themselves. Can this be replicated across the country whereby everyone should be tolerant? What happened in Githurai when Raila visited those who were hired goons? We realized that it is the politicians who hire people to cause violence, and then the media, just because tunakurupuka kila wakati, we like rushing towards where activity is. They'll always go to where people have disrupted, but they're not talking about the real content. Maybe it was a meeting discussing about peace between two communities. Then we are not even focusing on the content, the real content that is being discussed. We are just looking for what is happening. And then also we saw what happened during Madaraka Day. There was this young man who interrupted President Kenyatta while he was speaking. What is the big deal about a human being, even the president or the king being interrupted while speaking? You know, Magufuli used to call these people, come, mwache akuje jieleze. Anajieleza, then he sorts those things out. But here you are hounded out, and then Kenyans are good at calling Magufuli a dictator, when in real sense, the dictatorship is just right here at home. Why wasn't that young man given an opportunity to express themselves? Our leaders are not perfect. You saw Jomo Kenyatta International Stadium, after money being spent, you saw how it looked like. It was a real international stadium. Compare it to the Buhungu Stadium in Kakamega, then you see, all of us are not perfect, you know. But there are people who are actually executing the tasks that have been given. But those who are inept usually cover their ineptitude or compensate the 90% ineptitude with violence or aggression. Like, you cannot tell them anything, they know it all. So what happened in Kisumu is a very good sign that clean politics can be exercised in Kenya. There's real democracy, beginning with the capital city of democracy, that is Kisumu. Can we replicate this in Kericho? Can we replicate this in Eldoret? Can we replicate this in any community without a leader coming to threaten those people they call outsiders living here? Because there's nothing like outsiders. The Constitution provides that a Kenyan is free to live anywhere in the borders of this country. So if you think that people from a certain community should not be teaching in your own area, the Ministry of Education can as well go ahead and withdraw all the teachers, including teachers from your own communities, and remain without education, and we see what will happen. I think there should be freedom of association, freedom of doing business. Let our own Bill of Rights be felt within us, and let no one gag us from expressing ourselves. If we don't like something, we just don't like it. You cannot run away from feedback. President Uhuru Kenyatta deactivated his social media accounts. He didn't want feedback from Kenyans. I don't know if he trusts the people who give him the second and third hand information.
Hiyo hata Twitter mnaona, na hiyo mimi niliondoka huko. Ngaona hii kitu ni bure, ni matusi tu, hakuna kitu kingine inaendelea hapa. Right? Unakaa hapo unasoma hulali, nini wanasema nini? Huyu sasa wewe unapiga simu, unaona vile huyu mtu amenituka. Afadhali nilale bana.
In Nigeria, we saw Buhari has decided that the government will only be informing the people and they do not need feedback. So the comment section has been deactivated. You see the kind of intolerance. Are we ready to let the people express themselves? As much as you politicians love expressing yourselves and being on TV, selling us a lot of gibberish and garbage, it's a lot of garbage. It's a lot of garbage. Today, there's no politician that can stand up as a role model. Very few of them can. Very few of them can. But a lot of politicians cannot be role models. So let the people tell their own stories. So go ahead and not gag the people during elections. Because when you let the people express themselves, we'll get the right leaders. But if you start meddling with even our politics and how we express ourselves, even during the voting time, that is when we end up with mediocrity in governance. Let the people express their will, let the people express how they feel, and let our Bill of Rights not have any limitations and sliding in some articles, funny articles that try to gag the kind of information that we disseminate. The government can decide and say this is illegal because it goes against matters of national security. What the fuck is matters of national security? The kind of communication we citizens have with people abroad, you cannot even imagine. We have platforms of communication with everyone. Everybody has that access. And trust me, the Kenyan government, you're not interested in all that. If you want to do your job, I know the government can be able to execute. But our only problem is we have let politicians govern our institutions to a point that even the president has lost confidence in the civilians. Now he's recruiting military to head our parastatals. Now, even that's a very good thing, because in the short term we see we are having fruits. But if the military are disciplined, how do we ourselves become disciplined as a nation? That's a big question. Let us have a commission to deal with matters discipline as a nation and not BBI. Because I'm even saddened that the government can provide development projects or allocate funds for development to a region like Kisumu after 58 years, and every time something happened in that region was because of a handshake. This is not a favor, you know. I don't think it should be a favor for Ukambani to get a very good rail system to connect their counties, because I believe Ukambani have something very good to offer. It's not a dry bone, you know. You go to the coast region, they have a lot to offer. You go to western region, they have a lot to offer. Central, they have a lot to offer. Can we just do business freely without any restrictions? And can we just open up the markets instead of restricting and taxing everything? Like, for example, if I want to do a shoot in the CBD, why do you charge me? Don't you think that me allowing people to do shoots in the CBD can also be a better way of promoting the particular happenings of that county? Let it be. Some could be negative, some could be good, but in it something comes out. There's that freedom, and people would love to live in a town, a city where there is freedom, you know. And even you yourself, you have an opportunity to tell your own story. Let people tell their own stories, you know. But you overcharging, some counties even take as high as 30,000 to just shoot in the CBD. No, that's a joke. So let the people express themselves. Don't limit us from expressing ourselves. Don't limit our liberties, you know. Let us just be. This current generation, you cannot police them. You cannot. And let us learn from Kisumu that if we let the people express themselves, there's no politics in Kisumu. You are a guest, you're welcome. So, hii kelele mingi na kuanga kwa TV, radio na nini, it's just the noise of politicians, you know. The people are not even in that. So Tanga people, if you think your leaders are leading you into violence, replace all your leaders from the DP to everyone. Replace them. Because whatever they speak is pure garbage. You know, ODM, you have people, sycophants, that you call leaders. When Otende Amolo and Orengo is saying BBI is unconstitutional because of ABCD, you don't want to listen, you're bashing them out, Junaid Mohammed and Badi. Sycophants. Replace those people with people who can reason. Jubilee is a disaster, you know. I cannot even talk about Jubilee. Now whom? Who? The only hope there is Matiang'i, because Matiang'i can deliver. He's a government worker. Now we need leaders. Leaders who can be able to lead this nation bila ubaguzi. Tunataka maendeleo ikuwe western. Like when politicians decide that they want to lead you into violence, do you know how much you lose? For example, if you decide to burn down a city or a company, you have gone to burn down a company because it belongs to us, to a person from a different tribe, and you continue burning down other industries, that violence, you lose it in these so many ways. Number one, the police are allowed, because it's a matter of emergency, the police are allowed to come and take action, and sometimes allowed even to shoot, to kill, if they're trying to protect the properties of the people and stuff, you know, ABCD, blah, 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 blah. So the civilians are more likely to be killed. Secondly, the economy of that particular town goes down. You know, the rich still have their money, the banks are insured, so they still get their money, but you people have destroyed your economy. Something else, if you don't unite and you have your companies, you know, not performing well, these people, the capitalists especially, and those with money, love it when the economy is down, because it forces the value of many companies, many businesses to go down. That is the best time to buy. So those businesses are bought by private people who do not necessarily have the interests of the people at heart. Some do, many do not. So you see, it still benefits the rich when the poor fight. Be wise. Just welcome everyone that comes in. Say hi to them. If they have money to give you, take the money, eat everything. But while making the decision, as free as you are, keep making the right decision, because I believe Kenyans and the voters always make the right decision. We are only shortchanged by those who think power belongs to them at the ballot, like the 54%. We know. So I think the people should just be left to express their will. Kenyans are a happy people. And then you cannot even be innovative, because every area, like we saw the news that the government will not allow anyone to keep bees without a license. You know, we've been keeping bees even before the colonials. Now, because you think beekeeping is a lucrative business, now you want to tax. Like, what the fucking hell? You know, can you just let the people be? Let them thrive. They are poorer today because of your loot it all policies. They are poorer today also because of the COVID-19, whatever. And then they are also poorer today because of you not allowing them to be free to express themselves, be innovative, be creative, and do business without heavy taxation. If you let the people be, they'll be able to create enough wealth whereby you will be able to tax in those areas that will be able to sustain the economy. There's another guy anauzanga miwa hapa jirani yangu. I met him while I was just walking around, and he told me, he asked me actually, how he can get a KRA pin. The guy sells sugarcane in a wheelbarrow. So I asked him, you want a KRA pin? You want to do business, or do you have a tender? You know what? Just wanted to know. And he told me that the KRA people met him just a few minutes ago and asked him to have a KRA pin because he's supposed to be paying tax. So I was like, paying tax how? Even his stock is not worth 200 shillings. Just because Nairobi Metropolitan now is run by KRA. You see, that is garbage. Mama Mboga, you know, some people just let them be. You know, there are better economies to tax from and get enough, you know. But if our leaders would be honest enough and let us also express our will, let us express ourselves how we feel without blocking feedback or gagging the media or controlling the media or bribing the narrative or using Cambridge Analytica, you know. We don't want that. Just let us express ourselves, and Kenya will be a greater and better nation that African countries and around the world would emulate. That is Don Santo. You can always blame it on Don.
Manners and respect, me Don.